Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining us. We have here with us today Mr. Drew Uyi. Mr. Drew Uyi, born Andrew Uyi Ogomodie in Birmingham, UK, started his primary education in Benin City, Edo State, briefly, before concluding his high school in Switzerland and Germany. He is a graduate from London Metropolitan University, London Metropolitan University, London, in sports and event management. He also has an MA from London University of the Arts, London, in human resources. Drew is a licensed football agent, a public relations expert, and a brand strategist. He's also a talent and event manager. He has managed and worked with many big names in sports, African music, and entertainment industry. Nowadays, he is more into sports. After taking a short break from it, he has gone back to his first love, which is sports management. And he has done pretty well in that by working with the likes of Wilfred Ndidi, Victor Moses, and Ahmed Musa, and also Odion Igalo, and many Premiership players. He has contributed enormously to the growth of music, entertainment, and sports in the UK. Wow. Good morning, good afternoon, Mr. Uyi. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you,
How
ma'am.
are you doing today?
I'm fine.
Wow.
Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday,
yeah.
guys. Yes.
Yeah, happy Saturday. I'm just so excited, like looking at the names that you've worked with, Moses, Igalo, Musa. Wow, thank you so much for being here with us today.
Yeah, so I'm excited to be with you guys as well. Okay. Good afternoon to the house from London, precisely. I'm so happy to be with you guys because I enjoy talking to, young students as well.
So I think the first thing we all want to know is, what do students need? What do people who want to be footballers, what do they need to be a footballer? What do they need to do?
It's quite simple, not very simple, but first and foremost, you need to have the passion. You need to enjoy sports. It has to be something you want to do personally, not what your parents want you to do, because there will be a lot of trials, a lot of challenges. If it's not what you really want to do personally, you will definitely not be able to carry on. You will fall by the wayside. Even if there are kids that have the passion, that have the passion, to play sport or to participate in sport, but after a while they lose the interest. So it has to really come from the kids, not from the parents. So that's the first thing. That's what it takes. It takes for you to have the zeal, the passion, and the determination.
Okay, thank you. So, but is passion enough? If I have passion, like me, I'm very passionate about soccer, but I don't know how to kick a ball. My brothers used to call me golfy because I kicked it like I was hitting a golf stick or a golf club. So is it enough to have passion?
I think passion is the first thing. You must have passion for it before, any other thing can come. Even if you are determined, if you are not enjoying it, you might, lose interest. So the passion, the determination, and the hard work.
And the hard work. So, okay. So are you saying that talent can be developed?
Yes, definitely. Definitely. With hard work beats talent. If you just have the talent and you don't work hard, you're definitely not going to make it. So hard work is work. And education as well. You have to educate yourself about what the sport you are going into.
Okay. So a lot of our students are they're on the path to university. So can they go to university and still be a footballer? Can they graduate from university and still be a footballer, or will they be too old? Because I don't know that a lot of footballers noticed, okay, I don't know a lot of footballers are graduates, because I noticed, I think on your Instagram page, that Wilfred Ndidi is combining his soccer career with a degree. So while he's playing in Premiership, he's also getting a degree. So, but a lot of our students, their parents want them to have that degree first. So can they have a degree then go on to play football?
It has to do with age, and it has to do with age. Yeah, basically, for you to be a professional footballer, you have to sign your pro contract at the age of 18. So
18.
At the age of 18. So in that case, it's a situation whereby you are playing and studying at the same time. So but in America, it's a bit different. Yeah. So what happened is that with the basketball, you will be playing in university. Yeah, you'll be playing in university and be studying. By the time you graduate, you can sign your pro contract. So the Americans have that style. They have that system, even with the soccer. So you can be playing while you are studying, you are playing. By the time you graduate, you can sign your pro contract, or you can take time off. So there are a lot of players that have started. I'm taking time off their study and eventually come back to it. So it's not a problem of you coming back. I mean, because we have to understand that there's life after football, and there's a lot of life after football. The life chef or the lifespan of sport is maximum 10 years. So by the time you're 35, it's over. So, but I don't think 35 is too late for you to go back to study if you started already. You see, but you can still be doing side by side. You can be taking few modules. You can take your time throughout your career. But fortunately, a lot of kids, they do like playing. They do like sports. So and things are changing rapidly. Yeah, gone are the days when you say, "Oh, it's only when you go to school that you'll be successful." No, you can do self-studies. You can study by yourself, and by the time you finish your sporting career, you must have earned enough for you to be able to start up your life or to make generational wealth, if you understand what I mean. So in most cases, our advice for me, education is number one. If you don't have that education, you are doing sports. By the time you make all those money, you're going to lose them after sports.
Yes.
So you need to have a right team around you. Your parents have to be your support system. The support system is very important. But for African players, they don't really have support system.
I was asking, so because you said they have to sign their pro contract at 18.
Yes.
So are you saying they should sign their contract and start playing the football and leave school till later?
Yeah, there are two ways there. There are two options there. It's either you quit school, you put your school on hold, or you'll be doing it side by side. It's possible.
Okay.
You understand?
Okay.
Because it's very, very possible for you to be studying and playing football, which my man Indeed is doing. I'll just show you his jersey. That's his jersey there. Hold on. Okay, you see that's Indeed.
Yeah, thank you. Nice.
Yeah, 25 Indeed. He's the most. He's the number one in the transfer market. He's the in the transfer market. He's the biggest Nigerian player right now. Yeah.
Yes, he is.
And is the most in his club Leicester City.
Leicester City, yes.
Yeah, Leicester City is one of the main player there. Alongside Vardy, which is a striker. So they rate him very high, but I think the discipline, because he's coming from a military background, he grew up in the barracks, his discipline had made him, had given him that edge to be able to study and to be able to study and play football at the same time.
Okay, so thank you so much. Now we understand that students can balance academics and football
Very
at
much.
the same time. Okay, so can you advise? We know we have how should I academies that play food that help children with their sports activities that play football and all that. Would you advise one to go there?
Yes, I'll be very honest with you. What I've noticed over time, there are kids that are super talented. They're like juniors. They are as good as they are in sports and their education at the same time. I've seen a lot of, even when I lived in Nigeria, my neighbor behind my house is a medical doctor now. He's a medical director in the University, UBTH, University of Benin Teaching Hospital. He's actually the medical director, Darlington Obaseki. He was my eldest brother's age mate. He was extremely good in soccer, yeah, but he was an A student. But because he was living in Nigeria, he was living with his uncle. His uncle was like, when he did he didn't go to he went to a government school. He didn't go to a private secondary school, but he still got in his GCSE or his GCE, he got A flat, and his JAM here one of the best results. But if it was nowadays, he could have maybe played soccer and go to university. But he was just talented. So most kids are talented they are good in sport and good in academic as well. So there's a school in Leicester as well that I've taken a few students to. Yeah, when you have to come to the academy, you come on academic basis in your schoolwork, and then you then play soccer alongside. So if you are doing well in your soccer, yeah, they can look for a space for you. They can recommend you to premiers. You can play along, and that. So, but it's just the way things are. People that are kids that are good in both. So I think that they should pursue both, but some parents will be like, just focus on one. But time are changing, So you really have to depend on the kids and the parents.
Okay, thank you. So while we're talking about academies, what are good academies in Nigeria? Because we have students here in Nigeria. So while they're here, what are good academies they can go to?
To be honest, I can't really say, but I know they have the Barcelona Academy in Nigeria. Yeah, it's the same thing like in the UK. Like they have kids that go to school, and then after school club, they will go to academy to play soccer. It's just like extra, to do something apart from studying. But if the kids then develop more and it's showing like it's really, really good, and then maybe it might be sports, maybe a scout might spot the kid, to play. But talking about good academy in Nigeria, I cannot really say for sure which one is good, which one have a good program. But I know that somewhere like Abuja and Lagos, they have better academy compared to the rest of the country.
Okay, so what are good academies maybe in the UK, for instance, for if a child wants to continue when they go to the UK, or what are good academies in the UK?
Yeah, there are a few good ones. They're all good because they have what is really a good academy? A good academy is a place where you have good facilities. Yeah,
yes.
And that's what we lack in Nigeria. You have good facilities and you have a renowned coach, a coach that have been in the game, a coach that have the right license, a coach that have played in the game himself, a coach that can discipline the kid, and they have the right accommodation. They have the right accommodation in place, and why maybe everything is in one place. The study, the school, the football academy, and the accommodation in one place, so the kids don't need to go to too many places. So that is why I think is a good academy. But in the UK, they're not cheap. They're not very cheap because you have to pay inclusive your school, your accommodation, and whatnot. And then uh, uh, apart from that, yeah, like the one I know, education comes first, and then then any other thing can follow, which is like the sports, you know. But if you do well in the sports, yeah, fair enough, you know. But if not, you still have the education to fall back on.
Okay. So basically, so education. So these academies promote education while the students are training.
Yes.
Okay. So you mentioned earlier you were talking about scouting. What is scouting?
Come again?
Scouting. What is scouting? Because you talked about scouts. What is a scout?
Yeah, a scout is someone that recommends a player to a club. So a scout will be someone that is in the game, that is part of the game, is a stakeholder in sport or football. So they work with a particular, they work with an organization. They work with a football club. Yeah, for instance, I have a friend that works for for Sheffield United. Yeah. So what he does is that he's employed by Sheffield United. He get paid to be going from place to place to look for good talents. So he will go and recommend. So when he recommends to the club, it's up to the club to sign the player or not. But if the kid is extremely good, by going to tournaments, you know, going for games, they will spot the kid, and then they will because scouts different. So scouts are people that are employed to a football club that goes out to look for players.
Okay. So how can we, because I mean, we're in Nigeria and people try to take advantage. So how can we spot genuine football agents or scouts? Because people will do anything, because I know that people will put up posters and say, you know, come for scouting and pay 5,000 naira. So how do we know who is real and who is not real?
The way I see it is, I think it has to do with, scouts do come from abroad. They come, you know, those are the scouts that are really, that are affiliated to a club. Those are the ones that can really do something for you. But things are changing. But if the child is really, really, really good, you know, it will find its way. There's somehow, destiny, like if he's playing in tournaments, somebody would recommend that there's a guy that's very good all-rounder. Yeah. And then there's something like investment as well. You need to invest in your kids to like do extra training. You know, you have to have the right coach. Maybe the player might be good. I'm not a technical person when it comes to football. I'm more of I'm a football agent, but very in the commercial side, you know, in the branding side. So my advice is that be keeping record of what you're doing. Whenever whatever you're doing, document it. Have a documentation of it. Like, okay, you're playing this tournament. You know, keep records, because those are because it has to do like with work history. People ask, what have you done in the past? So you must be able to show, like, this is what you've done, in the sense that your work history, that you've played in this tournament, you've trained with this academy, this is the training you do like twice a week. You know, all those things have to come together. So to be honest with you, you have to, it's all about positioning as well. If you want your kid to be spotted, it needs to be in the right academy, you know. So I will assume that a kid in an academy in the UK will be easier to spot than a kid in the academy in Nigeria. He has more opportunities. So positioning is very important as well.
Okay, so because I was going to ask, like, what materials do we need to enter a football academy? But you just said it. So they have to keep records of everything they do. So are these records video records? Do they have to take videos of themselves or just write it down?
No, video of themselves when they're training, whatever they're doing. They need to have documentation, you know, because if people come to me and say, yeah, they play football, but I'll check maybe the easiest way social media. We can put some stuff on social media. I'll go and check. I'll see that maybe 2000, maybe last year he was a barber, and this year now he said it's okay. So how does that add up? We want to see consistency. Like for the past 3 years, this is what they've been doing. And when it comes to students, I think most scouts prefer people that they've seen record that this person have been going to school. So there's nothing like age cheats, because age cheats is a big problem. Nobody want to invest in a kid because it's, for the football clubs, it's like investment. They don't want to invest in a kid that's taken 5 years off his age. So there's no record that this guy have gone to school. So if there's a child that have done the GCSE and he said he's 16, they know that, yeah, he's actually 16.
Okay, that's very interesting. That's really good to know. So they, besides keeping records, is important. They need to be consistent with those keeping records. So yes. I hope, all our students are listening. So it's not just getting up one day and saying, I want to go to a football academy. You have to consistently, like all your practice, all your trainings, all your tournaments, you have to have videos over time so that you can present this to the academies. And then also you need to keep track of your education so that they know you're not giving an official age, or you're not cheating. Like Mr. Uyi said, you're not cheating with your age. Okay, so how often do somebody is asking, actually, we need about female footballers. How easy is it for them to get contracts, and can they go pro in Nigeria?
Yeah, I think they have a pro league in Nigeria, but the way it works is it has to do with education for females. Like in America, going to university, if you're really good in sport, you can get scholarship. It doesn't cheat. If you are good, you are good. If they see you, you go, and they know that you are good, you will get a scholarship, especially in America. And so education and sport, they do work hand in hand. It's very possible.
Okay. So we would like to know, is it only in the UK that they can go to academies? Are there other countries in Europe where they can? We know the English Premier League is one of the best leagues, but can they go to other other academies in Europe to develop their career?
Definitely. It's something to do with the language as well. The language barrier. Yes. You need to learn the language first, so you can be getting the instructions, from when you're playing, you understand. So mostly people go and they will start with a language school.
Okay.
They'll start with a language school, and that will help to help them to understand, instructions when they're training.
Okay. So they can go to other academies in Europe.
Yes, they can.
Okay, so how often do they need to train? They are not professional footballers, but how often do they need to train?
I think, you have to train like every day, maybe a day, take a day off, but you have to be consistent. You have to be training all the time, and there are YouTube videos that you can watch to develop yourself. People that the best people in different sectors in the world, most people have learned online. So you can go on YouTube as well and check techniques and everything. And I think education helps a lot.
Okay, thank you. So do they, if they want to become a professional footballer, do they need to start? Because I think, I may not be sure, I may not be certain, but I think Ahmed Musa, Wilfred Ndidi, they started from the Nigerian league. Did they not?
Yeah.
So do they have to start from the Nigerian league, or can they just go straight to the UK and join a UK league?
To be very honest, there must be a profile. Yeah. When you have a profile, it's always good, because it's like any other job you are looking for. You more has a profile where you're coming from and stuff like that. But unfortunately, there are no academies like attached to like pro league in Nigeria. So you need to go to like a private academy, but you must be playing somewhere. There must be a history, because most time what we see, like after every tournament, after every World Cup, people say they are footballers. It doesn't really work like that. You have to be a footballer. You know, it has to be something that you've been doing, and then by the time we see there's a record, if you like, you guys can check on my Instagram page. You can share my Instagram page. Drew actually is my Instagram page. What I do most of the time, I try to educate people, you know, so that's what I just try to, my being a football agent is more, it's purpose driven and culture driven. It's not just for the money. Yeah, obviously it's a business for me, but I feel sad when I see a lot of our football players not maximizing maximizing their potentials.
Yeah. So, okay. So next question. Do I have to have a particular diet now, or can I wait? Can I eat anything I want for now?
So to be very honest, from what I know, they start quite early from the UK. In the UK rather, they start people from 10. They're already taking it serious. If you want to be a professional player, you have to start from a young age. I've seen 14 years old kids that they wear these weights, ankle weights on their leg to walk in the house. They're already structured. They dress at home. They dress in the kits. When they're just because it's easier when you have that structure already. You cannot just be living your life anyhow and think that when you get into academy you should be able to like already have that be conformed in the way people behave, and then it will be easier for you in the long run.
Okay. So which country is best to play as a professional footballer?
I think all the countries are good. Obviously, not the Middle East, not like Dubai or Saudi Arabia, or like football nations like countries like the UK, Spain, Germany. But then again, the language barrier is another thing. So go to countries that that you can easily fit into. You have to think of you adapting to the system as well. So but one thing is that if you play in the UK, it's a good profile for you to play in other countries. Like I've seen people play in the UK. By the time they want to leave, it's easier to say, oh, he's playing in the UK so he can get the contract in like other countries.
Okay. Yeah, thank you for that. Well, somebody is not clear about agents, scam agents. So, earlier we asked the question. So, how do we tell a real agent from a fake agent?
A real agent, you just have to know if they're licensed. You have to go online, check if they're licensed.
Okay.
So in the country, you just ask them really and truly. If it's an agent, ask them if they're licensed. If they say yes, you say, which country are you licensed to? So when they say they're licensed to a particular country, then you go and check on the list on that country.
On the list. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So it's possible to check. Okay, that's great.
Yeah, you have to do your research.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you for that. So some people want to know, does racism affect the ability to become a footballer? That's as a Black person, maybe if they go abroad, does racism affect their chances of becoming a footballer?
Yes, most definitely. If I tell you there's no racism, I'll be lying to you. There's racism, but that is part of the challenges. That is why I say that's part of the what's it called? Part of things that you have to face. In the sense that if you go somewhere, there might be racism, but you have to have a thick skin. You don't have to tolerate it. You can say it, but there's systematic racism as well. You might be good in a particular position, and they would think that you want to outshine, you know, someone else, and they might drop you. So you should be able to have that. You should be able to bear. You should be able to patient. You should be patient. You should be tolerant. You know. So this is just the stuff that you face as a footballer.
Yeah, you're right. There's racism will be there, but like you said, they have to develop a thick skin and have support. So speaking about support, so how committed should parents be in encouraging their children if they want to be footballers?
Yeah, I think parents should not be forcing one, but that support system should be there. That encouragement should be there, you know. But it has to come from the kid. If the kid said this is what they want to do, you have to it's just like every other thing, you know, the same encouragement you give your kids when they're studying in school, same encouragement you have to give them when they, you know, decide to be a professional player. But that support system is very important. And that is where some of our players in Africa, that's what they lack.
Yes, support is key in making sure that the child progresses. Thank you. So what universities in the UK supports football?
The structure in the UK is not like America. It's not like in America, but there's some private universities that have, you know, they have courses relating to sports. So it will be easier for the kid to play soccer, and, you know, like people like courses like sports science, sports management, physiotherapy.
Sports science, sports management. Yes,
Physio, those kind of courses, you know. So like the Regent University is American university. So they have a campus in Leeds. They have a few students there that are studying sport-related courses, and, you know, and playing football at the same time.
Okay. So these academies, do they, probably not in Nigeria, but like in the UK or in Europe, do they offer scholarships, the academies?
For an academy to offer a scholarship, you have to be extremely, extremely good. You have to be extremely good.
You have to be better than everybody.
Yeah, you have to be better than the best.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know if did I ask you? Okay, I already asked one question. Okay, so what advice do you have for students? Like if the school doesn't, because like Greensprings Anthony focuses more on basketball than on football. Yeah. So the students don't go, because you said earlier that they have to keep records of tournaments and things like that. But if the school doesn't go for many tournaments, what should the student do to develop their portfolio? What should they do if they don't go for tournaments?
They can record their training as well. Training sessions can be recorded, not just tournaments. Training sessions can be recorded, and you know, whatever they're doing concerning basketball, you know, and basketball is huge, and it's huge in Europe as well. Not in England, but in countries like Spain and Germany, and maybe some other European country. Basketball is quite big there, you know. So basketball is something to look at as well, you know, and look for opportunities outside Nigeria. But if you are very good and you have the opportunity to do an exchange program, or basically get yourself together a team to play a team abroad, from there, people will spot and say, okay, this particular player is good, and they'll want to retain the player.
Okay. I was going to ask something now. Okay, so about this training. So you said that, even if they don't go for tournaments, that they can do their training. So because I personally think, I don't know, I think that if you want to be a good footballer, you should be training with all those boys that play under the bridge, you know. So where do you recommend that they train? Should they go to National Stadium? Should they go to play with the boys under the bridge? Where should they train?
Is it football or
Football, of course, football.
oh, football? Yeah, they should.
Because me, I think they need to be rugged.
Yeah, it's all experience. It's all experience. You know, it's all experience. You can play whatever. As far you are playing, as far you are training, but you must have a structure. You must have a structure. So that's what you know, I believe in.
Okay. Okay. So how do you how do you identify talents? You as a football agent, what are you looking for when you? I mean, do you scout?
You know, it's people. Everybody have their own style. For me personally, there are stuff I'm looking for a player, right? There are things that boxes I have to tick, you know, for me to have an interest in a player. That is me personally. So I don't know how other people how they do their scouting or how they pick players. First and foremost, you know, I want a player that have some level of education, right? I want a player that, you know, that have a presence online.
Presence online, okay.
Yeah, I have a presence online, you know, because whatever I want to showcase, whatever I want to sell, you know, I'm very strong. I believe very much on online stuff, you know. So I will if a player hits me up, I will check what the player has been doing. If the player does not have anything online, I cannot really help. I would really want a player to have like maybe 3-4 years, you know, of what they've been doing. You know, I want to see, I don't want, I just want a player that's focused on what they're doing. I don't want a player today is a footballer, tomorrow he's doing charity work, next tomorrow he's doing barbing, and you know, it's like it has divided attention. The only two things I think you should be doing is your studies and your football. If you're doing any other thing, I wouldn't be really interested.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, I want to ask the coronavirus obviously has affected a lot of things. So people can, you know, even if they want to train, it's not so easy to train in groups. Yeah. So how can they train? Do they train by themselves and video themselves?
The corona is a big problem. The corona really affected football. It has affected soccer. So that the best way is for you to just be documenting what you are doing. You have to be, because of the corona, obviously, like in the UK right now, it's only the elite sports that are training. The people that are not elite, the amateur, the academies and all that, is all shut down. So you have to be doing personal training, maybe 2-3 people, you know, with a coach. The coach can be taking like 3-4 kids, you know, but nothing in group at the moment. So there must be a record of you that during the pandemic, during the corona era, this is the way you were practicing. This is what you were doing, even if you were not, you know, working, even if you were not playing with your academy or not training a big group. There must be evidence to say that you did not just let loose like that, that you were doing like training in small groups.
Students that have been listening, it's important that you train. You have to find some time to train. Like Mr. Uyi said, train in small groups. You have to train in small groups, video what you're doing and put it online. You have to keep on training. If you are serious about being a footballer, you have to train all the time.
Yes.
So what happens to people that haven't trained since the coronavirus started? What should they do?
Yeah, you have to be fit. Just, you never know when there will be maybe like a scouting an exhibition match, or maybe when, you know, someone want to like check you out. By the time you go, if you're not fit enough, you only have a chance. If you are not fit enough or you are rusty, you might fail. So it's good to keep that momentum, you know, make sure that, you know, like even people in the NBA, and people that are playing the NBA, like the MVP, the Nigerian guy, Giannis Adetokounmpo, that plays in in America. After the season, now he's off season in Greece. Yeah, he's come with his team. He keep on training. It's not because it's off season he's going to stop. So he's there with his team. You know, this is on a higher level. Yeah, but this is the way it is. This is what it is. You have to know from the beginning. You have to know. You have to start now. You know. So what happens with Giannis? Giannis is that the team that came with him from America, they check his bone every morning. The check was eating. You know. So they just want him to keep that consistency the way he is in the NBA. They're not going to let loose. There's no off day.
Yeah.
You know. So by the time they resume in December, he's going to be like on the same level. You know, so, you know, you can't gain weight, you can't do this, you know. So it's a very football. People see the glamour of it, the flamboyant side and the good side, but it's hard work.
It is hard work.
You have to.
It sounds like hard work. One or two more questions, Mr. Uyi. So, okay, if they play in academy in Nigeria, how do they go abroad? What should they do?
I think stage by stage, you know, the way things work. If they play in an academy in Nigeria, the academy in Nigeria might recommend them, and wherever they go, they will still come back to ask. You know, they will still maybe get in touch with the academy in Nigeria. So, and most times the academy, if you're in a good academy, they play tournaments. They play tournaments abroad. So playing tournaments abroad is a good opportunity for basically other people to see you. It's just to put yourself out there, really. So, you know, you have to take a step at a time.
Okay, thank you so much. I think those are all the questions that we have. Yes, thank you very much. So just to recap, so you guys need to, so from what Mr. Uyi has said, if you want to be a footballer, you have to train, and train. Coronavirus is not an excuse. So you have to train, even if it means you have to get a small group of friends and you guys, while social distancing, you can train. It's also very important to keep records of what you're doing. So while you're training, maybe you're taking shots at goals, you need to have somebody videoing you and keeping those records. You need to also have an online presence. We're in 2020, we're not in 1990. So an online presence is very important so that even if you want to go to an academy, you have things to show them. Once they look you up, you are able to show them that you have done this and you have done it consistently. And then another thing you need to do is you need to start living like a footballer, meaning your diet, your time schedule, you need to be organized. You can't just eat any crap you want and wake up anytime you want. You have to be disciplined. You have to eat well. Yeah, so I think that covers, and your education. You have to have a level of education. Nobody wants, because as Dr. Uyi said, nobody wants a footballer, or even if you're a footballer, after football, life will go on. So it's important to have an education. So you can actually continue in university while playing and building your portfolio. So you can go to an academy or you can go to university while you're playing. It doesn't make a difference, but you need to have an education, because after football, your lifespan is 10. If you're lucky, like people like Ryan Giggs, maybe you might have 20 years, but most people, their football span is 10 years. So you need to get an education, and education is very important. So we're going to call on our Deputy Director, Dr. Wilson, to say a few words.
Good. Hello, everybody. First of all, I just want to say that this webinar series is amazing. It's amazing. The information that students and parents got today is priceless. It's just amazing at the highest level of amazement. So, sir, thank you for answering every question honestly and openly, and really setting the pathway, getting students and parents to understand the mindset, the physical dedication that it takes. You know, what I'm hearing you say is that students who are serious about becoming footballers have to live and breathe it. You wake up with the football, you go to sleep with the football, you eat like a footballer, you walk like a footballer, you talk about the sport. You know every aspect of it. You have to be committed. I heard you say in order to get an academic scholarship to an academy, you have to be better than the best. You can't get there by saying, I want to do this, but I'm not doing what I need to do it. And so what I'm hearing from you is a total commitment is needed. And so I think that, first of all, I want everyone to realize that this type of webinar is a difference maker. It's a difference maker. You know, being able to get this information at this age in such a coherent way, the way it was presented, with honesty and truth and with a clear path, that's what everyone needs. So this is outstanding. Mrs. Saluzzo, congratulations on another great career webinar and the whole series. To our presenters, sir, thank you. Thank you on behalf of Greensprings School. On behalf
everybody, thank you all for joining us. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. And remember, if you need to, your agent, if you want to get a good agent, you have to ask them where they are licensed and check online to confirm that the agent was actually licensed, so that you don't get scammed. Thank you, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Here.
Thank you.
Ms. Kaladi is here. Maybe she wants to say something.
Well, actually, I thought it was something for senior citizens who want to play soccer after retirement. But it was I didn't know I would enjoy Mr. Luzo and Miss Ijoma. I'm amazed. It was very interesting. Thank you, Mr. Uyi. Thank you, our parents, Mr. Yodele Thomas, I think. Everybody who came, it was really interesting and valuable information was shared with us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mrs. Kolade.
Okay,
well
bye-bye.
All right, everybody, enjoy your weekend. Thank you.